How do you wrap up Captain America? I have a few ideas. Oh, get your mind out of the gutter. My name is Danielle Radford, and this is Screen Junkies News. In an interview with the Telegraph, Chris Evans opened up about Captain America and cussed, like, a lot. He also revealed that while his Marvel contract was initially for 6 movies, he extended it to include the 4th Avengers movie, saying, quote, "I had 6 films in my Marvel contract, so I could have said after the 3rd Avengers I was done, but they wanted to make the 3rd and 4th Avengers films as a 2-parter. I came back because it made sense. It's going to wrap everything up." Wait, wrap what up? What is everything? Is it his character? Is it the MCU? Misa Captain Rogers gonna die? Here to unwrap up these questions with me are Roth Cornett and DJ Wooldridge. Hello.
Hey.
Hello. So much to kind of unpack here. Thank you for joining me. So in another quote from the same Telegraph interview, Chris Evans also went on to say the following, quote, "One of my biggest fears was that the movies were going to be good, because if things worked out, I'd have to do all 6 of them. And at the time, that was the most terrifying aspect of it, that it was going to be so dominating, all-encompassing." So,
you made that
God, I just wish my movies were bad.
Dominating, all-encompassing. But so we've kind of had an idea that he's been insy-outsy on this.
Yeah.
And the rumors were going to be that he wasn't going to be around much longer. He didn't mention that he extended it beyond anything other than one more movie. So what do you think? Is he in? Is he out? Is this some more of that kind of public negotiating? What do you all think?
Will he or won't he? It's funny. I mean, look, going into this, you could understand him having those reservations because he had been burned before. No?
Fantastic Four, anybody?
That's nice. Oh, I like that. Yeah, I like that. Don't act like you didn't like that. That was really nice.
It's
I'm
funny
here to make the bad jokes so you can make the good ones.
It's funny because like it's that classic dilemma of like, oh man, I really don't like being in this mega franchise, but I also don't really have a career outside of it. So
well, I mean, here's the thing: is like what if you look at the films that he has done outside of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, he did. Snowpiercer, he'd made his own directorial debut with a smaller film.
Those aren't paying for his house?
No, they're not, but that's what I'm... Well, to be fair, initially when Marvel was negotiating, this is when Perlmutter was in charge of sort of the financial...
So you're saying Marvel's not paying for his house either?
I don't think at first it was.
Yeah.
I think probably they've been able to negotiate a little bit
He's
better.
great in Snowpiercer.
Yeah, he was so great in
Snowpiercer is fantastic.
But my point is, like, you can understand why he would have been like, am I launching my career, or am I going to put the final nail in the coffin at first? And then I think as the movies came out and they were good and they were so well received, he started to feel more and more confident.
Right, and he does talk about, again, I paid for a Telegraph subscription so that I could read this stupid interview. But so he does talk about...
We should expense that for you.
But he mentioned in the interview that he was so excited about getting back to making kind of smaller movies, because as much as he loves these movies and he loves how they come out, sometimes it's just a lot of like sitting around on set and not doing much, and you don't feel like you've done a full day of really like acting. Yeah. And so maybe that's what he's looking to get forward to, some more of that like acting.
Brilliant.
But okay, so what are we talking about here? Are we talking about wrapping up Captain America's story? What happens? Is he going to die? Is that what's going to happen? Or
hasn't that been what we have been expecting for many movies now?
One of them.
Right? Like,
you know, if I'm being honest, if you really wanted to set the stage for Infinity War, I think Thor Ragnarok should end with Thanos killing Thor, or like the opening minutes of Infinity War, just off one of the top 3 right out of the gate. So you're like, oh man, this is real.
Yes, I agree. I mean, not that we want to lose our favorite characters. Okay, 2 things. One, I think that he is more invested, and he agreed, like he said, he agreed to continue on because he gained confidence and he wanted to do justice by these characters in these films. We were lucky enough, we were lucky enough to go, there was a set visit for Age of Ultron, and I remember being there, and I think I've talked about this before, and Winter Soldier came up, and he sort of, in a very open moment, said, yeah, like, I really liked that one, you know, and he was really excited by the quality of the work. And I think he is very invested in that film. He worked very closely with the Russo brothers on doing hand to hand in that. And he's been working very closely and entrusted them since then. So I think he believes that they can bring this character home and do it justice. But it feels to me like he is saying it will wrap his storyline.
Yeah. Well, and Cap has the easiest out because Cap's shield has been passed along to several people. And you've got a couple cool candidates with Winter Soldier and Falcon. side on saying Winter Soldier should take up the shield because I think Falcon's dope on his own. I think Falcon should get his own spin-off movie.
I agree. I think that Falcon's an amazing character.
Yeah, Falcon is a title all to its own. But so there's an easier route with. I think it's a little thornier with Iron Man because it's like I think the right call is to backburner some of these characters and focus on people like Black Panther and Captain Marvel and Doctor Strange and like wait 5 or 6 years and then be like, hey, now we have a new guy as Iron Man. Please come go and see the movie.
I think they do have to make that bold move though, to your earlier point. And in Ragnarok, I did expect that at the end of that, possibly we would be losing before. I don't now. Yeah. But previously I thought maybe we would because I think they do have to set that up. And then if you go through Infinity War, first of all, Doctor Strange can ultimately reset everything. So who knows?
Right.
But there is this history, particularly with Cap, that some other characters picking up the mantle, picking up the shield.
Right. So going back to what you're saying about Doctor Strange, what if it is a wrapping up of the MCU or at least anything beyond? We're pretty sure that this is going to be it for the Gauntlet storyline. But what if they do decide that they might be wrapping up the rest of the MCU? How would you go about doing that, especially considering that we have a comic books world where nothing ends? So there isn't anything in the comic where they can say like, this is where we end this. This is a story we can use to base this on. These stories don't end in the comics. What do
there's
you do?
no contract negotiations with the drawing of Captain America.
Well, I feel like you're right that this is the end of that storyline. They started setting up the Infinity Gauntlet storyline. You could say, we talked about this earlier in Thor. They definitely did in the first Avengers, started setting it up. This is, I think, a storyline that has an end like big epic arcs do. You know what I mean? And then they end, and then you have a new epic arc to start and see your way through. And also, I mean, listen, any given comic book cover could have different characters being the Avengers, you know?
That's right.
And I think that's what they're aiming for here, to get you attached enough to an array of characters that there's like different possibilities for team-ups.
Well, and watching the Black Panther trailer, like I had a moment like, oh, this could be their guy. Like if they decide to like, retire Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man or Cap, it's like, Black Panther could be, and maybe Captain Marvel. We don't know anything about that.
Spider-Man is now
Spider-Man.
available.
Well, we don't know how long they're going to be able to.
Well, we don't. But
forever, Sony. Have them be a part of it forever.
Right. Well, so and that's a good, because we do know that more and more of these Marvel movie actors, their contracts are going to start expiring, but these movies are not going to go away. They're not going to stop the money train. So then, do you guys feel good about having maybe an Avengers: The New Class, or do you think maybe we take these movies and we move them somewhere else? Do we move them into space? Do we move them into some of these magical dimensions? What do you think?
We always move things into space in my preferred reality.
You have to go to space.
Always go to space. Eventually, space. I am exactly like that character in Lego Movie. Space! That's how I feel about space. But I mean, listen, I think there's a number of different ways you can go. The cosmic universe is expanding a lot currently. We know we have Doctor Strange that can we can enter into multiple dimensions and realities at this point, so the possibilities are limitless. Where that gets dangerous, I think, is that it can get unwieldy, and then you have to like reboot.
It's very close. I want to know if they do Avengers: The New Class. By the way, I want that Avengers 4 to be called Avengers: The New Class. Please, Marvel, if you're listening.
Just like as a little F you to Fox.
Yeah.
Is that what you want? Who stir that pot?
Who's the Screech in that scenario? Who's the one person that like if Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. leaves and Chris Hemsworth, who's the person that's like left behind to like? I guess I'm teaching you guys how to do things now.
You know that we were saying that the most likely possibility is like Hawkeye.
Yeah. Hawkeye sticks around, teaches the next generation.
And somebody's like, "How are you not dead yet, man?" Like one of the Black Panthers, like, "How are you not dead?"
He's like, "Oh, I'm secretly the most dangerous person on this team."
Exactly.
So they have, although to your earlier point, we've got the Winter Soldiers on ice, right? Literally, and Tony has the tech available, the tech that we saw in the beginning of Civil War, to heal his mind. Right. He's got that tech that could come into play if you need to call him up, and he does need to take up and be the next Captain America. Yeah. Right now he's way too damaged, but would he have to go into cooperation with his biggest nemesis in order to heal him so that you have a Captain America.
Yeah.
That's a fun story.
That's a really
cool.
fun story.
I said of my own idea.
Yeah.
Oh, I like all of these. They're all amazing. But we want to hear from you. How would you end Captain America's story? Let us know in the comments below. And remember, be nice to each other. Thanks for watching. Click here for more internets. Tweet at us at SJ News. And make sure to subscribe to SJ News. Bye.